Namaste everyone. So today we're doing the 10.9 verse from Bhagavad Gita. This is the second of the Chatushloki of Bhagavad Gita. Machchita madgata prana bodhayanta parasparam katyantascha mam nityam tushyanti charamanti cha. So there are few sandhis. First of all, the major ones are the Vyanjan sandhi, mad chitta, exactly mad plus chitta, and then katyantascha, which is katyantaha plus cha. Also, at few places, ma became anuswara, so ma became anuswara there. Nityam also ma became anuswara, although it's a full ma, but it's a Vyanjan ma, but it became anuswara ma. Similarly, also at the end of Machitta, it is not in the slide, you can see, at the end of Machitta and Madgata Prana, there is supposed to be Visargas, and they also have disappeared or vanished. That's the Visarga Sandhi rule. Let's do word for word. So, Machittaha, it comes from root word Machitta. It means Mai Chittam Yasya Saha, one whose mind is in me. So, it comes from root word Machitta, so this is Akarant. And the Vibhakti is nominative 1.3. Translation is those whose minds are me. So let's do the table for Akarant. Gora, Gorahu, Goraha. Goram, Gorahu, Goran. Gorena, Gorabhyam, Gorai. Goraya, Gorabhyam, Gorebhya. Gorat, Gorabhyam, Gorabhya. Gorasya, Gorayo, Goranam. Gore, Gorayo, Goreshu. Gaura, Gaurav, Gauraha. Okay. Next is Mat Gata Prana. Again, it comes from the root word Mat Gata Prana. Akarant. One whose life, Prana, has gone, Gata, to me. So it's 1.3 masculine nominative. Those whose lives are gone or devoted to me. Next is Bodhayanta. Bodhayanta root comes from root word Budh, which means to understand. So whenever you here we have a pratyaya of at at the end of Budh, and that makes it Bodhayat. What does Bodhayat do? Those who make others to understand, or those who cause to understand. We will see another use of this same pratyaya later in this verse. So meaning is what? Those who cause others to understand. Since it was a takarant, here's the Vibhakti table. Bodhayan, Bodhayantau, Bodhayantaha. This is the word we have used. Bodhayantam, Bodhayantau, Bodhayataha. Bodhayata, Bodhayadbhyam, Bodhayadbhi. Bodhayate, Bodhayadbhyam, Bodhayadbhya. Bodhayataha, Bodhayadbhyam, Bodhayadbhya. Bodhayataha, Bodhayato, Bodhayatam. Bodhyati, Bodhyato, Bodhyatsu. So this is Takarant. Takarant pulling. Next one is Parasparam, which means among themselves or each other. It's the Avyaya. Katyantaha. So like Bodhyantaha, Katyanta also comes from root words Kat. I didn't mention it properly here. It should be Kat. And Kat plus pratyaya at leads to kathyat, which means one. Katha means to narrate, and kathyat means one who causes to narrate, or one who narrates. So translation comes out to be those who narrate, or those who cause to narrate. Basically, the doers of the activity. Like in case of Pathati, if it is Pathyantaha or Pathyan, that means somebody who causes others to read. Like a teacher, he causes students to study. So that for teacher you will use Pathyantaha or Pathyan. Cha and Mam, famous Asmad. And this is accusative 2.1. What's the table for Mam or for Asmat? Aham, Avam, Vayam, Mam avam asman maya avabhyam asmabhi mayyam avabhyam asmabhyam matta mat avabhyam asmatta ma mama avayo asmakam mai avayo asmasu. Next one is nityam. It's navya, which means always. Tushyanti. This is simple. Tush, being satisfied. Now here it is an atmanipad, that means they are satisfied. So this is an action for themselves. Actually, this is parasmaipad. I wrote it wrong. This is a parasmaipad, present tense. They are satisfied, and since it's parasmaipad, which means that the action is not for the pleasure of themselves, but for the pleasure of others. So when it is used in this sense, which means that others are also satisfied, seeing them satisfied. Cha, which means and. Ramanti, which means rejoice. Again, this is not Atmanipad, this is Prasmanipad. I'm sorry for mistake. This is present 1.3. This is simple. Ramati, Ramata, Ramanti, Ramasi, Ramata, Ramatha, Ramami, Ramava, Ramama, or Patti, Pattitaha, Patanti, like that. Cha and. Okay, this was simple words. Let's do sentence formation here. Matchita madgata prana. Thinking of me, their lives devoted to me. Bodhayanta parasparam. Enlightening one another. Mam nityam katyantaha cha. And always discussing my activities, or always causing to discuss my activities. Tushyanti cha ramanti cha. They are satisfied and they rejoice. So here's Prabhupada's poetic translation. The thoughts of my pure devotees dwell in me. Their lives are fully devoted to my service, and they derive great satisfaction and bliss from always enlightening one another and conversing about me. Okay, Sridhar Swami's commentary. Mai eva chittam yesham te machita. Those whose thoughts are always in me, those are machitta. Mam eva gata prapta prana. Those whose prana, whose life, or indrayani, whose senses are all gone, are all sold out to me, they are madgata prana. Mad arpid jivna itiva. Or it also means those who have dedicated their life to me. Evam bhuta te buddha. Anyonama amam nyay upaitaha. Shrutyadi pramanahi bodhayanta. These bhuta, these people, they are Buddha. They have realized. They have realized me, and anyonama. It means they only have realized me. They have nothing else. And based on the Nyaya Upaiti Shrutyadi Pramanai Bodhayanta. And how have they done that? They have dedicated themselves to me based on the evidence given in the Shastra, given in the Nyaya. So these are not cheap people who have devoted themselves. They have paid the price by studying the Shastra and then dedicated themselves to me. Buddha eva cha mam kathayanta. After they have understood, after they have realized me, then they speak about me or cause sankirtan for me. Narrate my pastimes. Nityam tushanti. Like they're constantly relishing, they're constantly being satisfied. Anumodanena tushanti tushtim yanti. Like when you have fun, anumoda. That's how they're always having fun during these pastimes. Ramanti cha, always rejoicing. Why? Nivrittim yanti. Why? Because they have nothing, no attachment. Nivrittim, there is nothing hanging on to them. So very beautiful commentary by Srila Sridhar Swami. Next one by Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. Etadrisha ananya bhakta eva. These types of devotees, ananya means special devotees, eva mat prasadad labdha buddhi yoga. Which type of devotees? We discussed in the previous words, those yesterday's words, those types of devotees, because of Krishna's mercy, labdha, they receive the labdha buddhi yoga, the special intelligence. Purvot lakshanam durbodham api matta tattva jnanam prapnuvanti yaha. Because of their remembrance, durbodham api mat jnanam, mat tattva jnanam, the knowledge about me, they remember because of their previous qualities. Mat chitta mad rupa gunam. Sorry, so this is the first part. Next one, mat chitta mad rupa gunam guna. Their hearts or their minds are completely devoted to my roop, nam and guna. So these things are going on in their minds. When Krishna is saying that my thoughts are my devotees and me, what do you mean thoughts and me? What does it mean? It means that their thoughts are completely dedicated to roop, nam and guna of Krishna. And Leela Madhurya Swadeshva Lubda Manasa. Their mind is lubda, is greedy for Leela, Madhurya, Swada, for tasting the Leela, Nam, Roop, Guna of Krishna. Then Madgata Prana. What does that mean? Mam Vina Pranan Dhartum Asmartha. That without for them, a life without Krishna is impossible. How? Annagata Prana Nara Itivat. Those people who have no anna, no food, they have not eaten anything. How their lives become? That similarly is true for my devotees. Then Bodhayantaha. What does Bodhayanta means? Bhakti Sarupa Prakar Adikam Sohadena Gyapayanta. That they discuss the qualities of the bhakti and its the different varieties, etc., with love with each other. Sohardena. With love and care, they share this knowledge amongst each other. The knowledge about the process of bhakti. Mam. What does Mam mean? Maha Madhura Rupa Guna Leela Maha Udadi Dim. The great ocean of, like when Krishna says Mam, Nityam Mam, Kathante Mam. What does that Mam means? That Mam means the great ocean of sweet Madhur Rupa Guna Leela. That big ocean, Maho Udadi, that big ocean of Rupa Guna Leela of Krishna, that's what Krishna is referring to when he says Katyantascha Nityam Mam. And Katyantaha. What does Katyanta means? Madhur Rupa Adi Vyakhyanena Uttakirtan Adikam. Katyanta means to do kirtan, to talk about the Rup Adi and its commentaries and different like we're doing right now, and kirtan, talking about it. Kurvanta. That's meant by Katyanta. Iti eva. So this is it. Sarva Bhakti Ishwati Shreshtyat. So of all different types of bhaktis, these are the topmost. What are the topmost elements? Smarana, Shravana, Kirtana, Chuktani. So remembrance, chanting and hearing. These three are the topmost processes among all the processes of bhakti. So remember that. Chanting, hearing and remembrance. Tushyanti cha ramanti cha. What does this phrase mean? Bhakti eva santoshascha. That's only from bhakti they derive satisfaction. And ramanti and they ramanti raman eshti rahasyam, and also desire some very deep pleasure, rahasyam. Yadva sadhanam dashayamapi bhagyavashat bhajne nirvigne sampadmane sati tushyanti. That if somehow or other they're able to execute, even in doing the process of sadhana means practicing devotees, if they're somehow or other able to execute the devotional processes without interruption, then what happens? They feel sati tushanti, they feel very happy. Why? Tadaiva bhavasviya sadhya desha manusmritya. Why? Because they're remembering their future reunion with the Lord. And thinking of their future state, they are ramanti, very happy. Manasa sa prabhuna sa ramanti. In their minds, they are enjoying with their Lord. So this is Cheti, Rag Anuga Bhaktir Do Uttita. This verse is the root or the seed of Raga Anuga Bhakti. Now let us hear commentary by Srila Prabhupada. Now Srila Prabhupada actually takes on the commentary of Srila Baladev Vidyabhushan. That is why we are not discussing his philosophy, his commentary here. And he puts it in a very easy to understand, digestible English translation for Baladev Vidyabhushans, and he puts his own realization there too. So what does he write? Pure devotees, whose characteristics are mentioned here, engage themselves fully in the transcendental loving service of the Lord. Their minds cannot be diverted from the lotus feet of Krishna. Their talks are solely on the transcendental subjects. The symptoms of the pure devotees are described in this verse specifically. Devotees of the Supreme Lord are 24 hours daily engaged in glorifying the qualities and pastimes of the Supreme Lord. Their hearts and souls are constantly submerged in Krishna, and they take pleasure in discussing Him with other devotees. In the preliminary stage of devotional service, they relish a transcendental pleasure from the service itself. And in the mature stage, they are actually situated in the love of God. Once situated in that transcendental position, they can relish the highest position which is exhibited by the Lord in His abode. Lord Chaitanya likens transcendental devotional service to the sowing of His seed in the heart of the living entity. There are innumerable living entities traveling throughout the different planets of the universe, and out of them there are few who are fortunate enough to meet a pure devotee and get the chance to understand devotional service. This devotional service is just like a seed, and if it is sown in the heart of a living entity, and if he goes on hearing and chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, that seed fructifies, just as a seed of a tree fructifies with regular watering. The spiritual plant of devotional service gradually grows and grows until it penetrates the covering of the material universe and enters into the Brahma Jyoti effulgence in the spiritual sky. In the spiritual sky also, the plant grows more and more until it reaches the highest planet, which is called Goloka Vrindavan, the supreme planet of Krishna. Ultimately, the plant takes shelter under the lotus feet of Krishna and rests there. Gradually, as a plant grows fruits and flowers, a plant of devotional service also produces fruits, and the watering process is in the form of chanting and hearing goes on. This plan of devotional service is fully described in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Lila, chapter 19. It is explained there that when the complete plan takes shelter under the lotus feet of Supreme Lord, one becomes fully absorbed in love of God. Then he cannot live even for a moment without being in contact with the Supreme Lord, just as a fish cannot live without water. In such a state, that devotee actually attains the transcendental qualities in contact with the Supreme Lord. The Srimad Bhagavatam is also full of such narrations about the relationship between the Supreme Lord and His devotees. Therefore, the Srimad Bhagavatam is very dear to the devotees, as stated in Bhagavatam itself. Srimad Bhagavatam Puranam Amalam Yad Vaishwananam Priyam. In this narration, there is nothing about material activities, economic development, sense gratification, or liberation. Srimad Bhagavatam is the only narration in which the transcendental nature of Supreme Lord and His devotees is fully described. Thus, the realized souls in Krishna consciousness take continual pleasure in hearing such transcendental literatures, just as a young boy and girl take pleasure in association.